The BC Enduro Series has been a staple of the riding scene over the past 4 years. We've been across the province and back again, showcasing new riding destinations and of course the classics. We've helped develop riders contribute to local trail clubs with our donations, more than $70,000 to date, and with our 2016 IMBA partnership, and most recently, matched funds by MEC. All of that is really, truly exceptional. But it's the communities, riders and volunteers that have always and will always make these events special. That's why for 2018, we're taking the focus off of racing and reaiming our gaze on showcasing communities, creating more accessible experience for a broader range of riders. I just want to open this post with a deep, sincere thank you to all the riders. You folks make the event. Your positivity, willingness for misadventure, and understanding have made this such a memorable scene. The other thank you is to all of the communities, sponsors, volunteers, trail builders, friends and everyone in between. We've seen a huge increase in ridership over the past 2 years. While this undoubtedly is a good thing, it does come with the inherent impacts, both positive and negative impacts. Many people understand the impacts on the trails, both positive and negative. Some of you understand the importance of the economic spin-off of the event, approximately $75,000 per 150 participants, and very few will conceptualize that the event reaches much further. We have changed strategic community plans for trail networks, persuaded people to relocate their lives, encouraged kids to ride more, and helped trail groups legitimize their status to key government stakeholders. I'm not asking people to understand the nitty-gritty behind the scenes, rather to just acknowledge that by attending these events, you should be proud that you've contributed to truly developing the riding scene in BC. You've helped support the entire riding industry. You're part of the MT-Bing family, and who would have thought that would be the outcome from hurling yourself down in order to get bragging rights over your buddy? When I was working that first event in Penticton 4 years ago, it was raw. People got lost on course. There was lots of uncertainty and there were only 60 people. What sparked my interest? How cool it was to meet new people, explore a new place, and truly have the riders of that local community show off their hard work. The series in my eyes has always been a collaborative affair, 10% racing, 70% social, 30% exploration. As the Canadian National Enduro Series has grown, I've begun to see a clear line from participants, between serious racers and riders just looking for a good time. While you certainly can be both, sometimes trying to be everything to everyone, all at once, is just not possible. The goal with this change in structure is to narrow the scope of both series, so that the events become more accessible, and everyone leaves with massive smiles and sore legs. Ted Morton, BC Enduro and Canadian National Enduro Series, the Revelstoke 3-day helicopter enduro. So what does that mean for 2018? Our fastest growing category is U21, followed closely by 3039, 40 and open women. This fall I held a beginner-focused Endurox and Kamloops. We had around 50 riders and it really reminded me of the first few years of events. Low-key, super positive, and it was all about the journey. I want to get back to the roots, while keeping the Canadian series the focus of high-level competition. BC Enduro family fun, adventures, accessible, community-focused, less about racing, more about the experience. Canadian National Enduro, all of the above plus focus on racing, better course marking, harder trails, bigger days, experts only. With increased pressure on local trail clubs to maintain ever-growing trail networks, largely via volunteer labor, I began wondering how we could better support not only the communities, but how could we reduce a bit of that pressure on the trails, while maintaining that rawness of the events. 2018 will see the BC Enduro Series BCES only, not CNES, no longer be a cumulative race series. This means the following: there is no set BC Enduro schedule as of yet. It depends on the number of applicants. No points or overalls. No double black diamond trails. Short course at every venue. Reduced registration cost set by host organizer. Cap entry at 200 riders. No pro men or pro women categories. These races aren't for pros. Less media production to keep registration prices down and focus on fun. No formal course release. We want to cool down the shuttling and amount of practice laps, so well, just post the route to Facebook on Saturday morning. Option for races to be held on Saturdays. Not every venue will have food and beverage après. No formal award ceremony to let people leave early to get home. We'll announce the winners, but it will be pretty informal. More dollar back to the trails by narrowing our scope. This will leave more cash and opportunity for capacity building in the local community trails. No prize money in events. No pre-race email, just a simple post on Facebook on Saturday night, with the course route and where registration will be held. Essentially, the BC Enduro Series will become an event manager, providing timing and minimum guidelines to host organizers. The major change is that the series will now operate more as a collective, where local communities who really want to host an event can utilize the BC Enduro expertise, framework, and systems. This will ensure the focus of the event is even more community-centric. Rather than focusing on high-level racing, it will be focusing on intermediates and serious recreational riders who really just want to ride awesome trails, BS with their buddies, and have a no-fuss weekend of riding with marked trails. Applications are open to anyone. We're looking for solid community champions, and communities that want to host an event for some of the most interesting riders in BC. There is no set schedule for BC Enduro events. The schedule will depend on the amount of inquiries. Please email to find out the list of appropriate dates. Email ted@bcenduro.com with the following information. This doesn't guarantee an event. I will email back an application overview form and we'll start this awesome process. Proposed dates. Saturdays are okay. Proposed location. Trails. Ensure you know the land managers and land base of the trails. How many volunteers you expect you'll need. Who is going to be the key contact for the race? This person needs to be dedicated, a community champion, first come, first served. Canadian National Enduro Series. The Canadian National Enduro Series has quickly become the flagship enduro series in Canada, with events in BC, AB, on, QC. The series represents a solid Canadian competitive stage for athletes focusing on the enduro discipline to garner serious mileage, while using this series as a stepping stone to the EWS. Last year we had 3 EWS qualifiers that provided excellent opportunities for a rider to secure their entries for the 2018 EWS. For 2018, the focus of the CNES will be once again expert riders only, technically physically demanding stages. Big days, with some new venues thrown into the mix. The schedule will be released late November. Expect 46 events, 3 in BC, 1 in AB, 12 in ON, 12 in QC. New for 2018, we will be hosting a typical championship style. In the past, we've simply held the championship as a cumulative championship. In 2018, we will host a Canadian National Enduro Championship that will be a standalone race. One event to crown the Canadian National Enduro Champion. We will continue to award the overall champion based on points at the end of the year. Why are we doing this? We've seen interest from serious riders who want to have a more formal championship, so we're delivering championship that as the championship will take place prior to EWS Whistler, so that the winner can represent Canada at the only EWS stop in North America. Dates. Currently, the proposed date for the championship will be June 17th or May 27th. It will be at a brand new venue, and you can expect to be punished. This course will test riders in every facet. Need something more information? Website, Facebook, Instagram. Athlete inquires. Athletes at bcenduro.com. Volunteer information. Admin at bcenduro.com. All other inquiries. ted@bcenduro.com. Event director. The podium winners from Fraser Valley showing off their flashy yellow Kazoom custom cycling jerseys.